employee of UTEP? Please raise your hand.
Carlos?
Excellent, excellent. We've got some really great folks here today, and I thank you all for coming. The first thing we're going to do for today's show is just go through a brief slideshow where we introduce you to some of the themes that we've been exploring, in case you haven't already heard. So the main theme of this camp is the idea that the way that math is taught in school currently is not very good. Frankly, it's a little bit boring. And we can figure out better ways to teach math. And so this camp is an opportunity for us as educators and you as students to figure out what are some ways that we could teach math better. So we have three major themes, which I'm going to go over. The first theme, of course, is music composition and performance. And so we brought in a lot of experts from the music department, mostly via Andrea Shaheen, who enabled us to learn from real musicians. So anybody remember this guy? Raise your hand if you remember this guy. Kiko, what did this guy teach us?
He taught us to play the drums.
To play the drums, absolutely. So we focused a lot on bringing in real musicians, but of course we're interested in the students performing and composing their own music. So here we've got some examples of our students busily at work composing and performing new music. Dr. Song An is of course my co-director of the lab. Let's give him a big hand. Thank you so much, Dr. An. So without Dr. Song An, none of this would have happened. For the last 3 years, in Virginia, I've been running a summer camp which focused on environmental themes. And so we focused on things like wind power, and water power, and solar power. And then eventually that became a textbook which we've made available for free on the internet to anyone who wants to replicate. The problem that we had with the camp that I ran in Virginia is that the students weren't necessarily super excited about wind power. It's an important topic, but probably not the funnest topic. And so when I came to UTEP, I promised myself that I was going to redesign the camp around a topic that the kids would genuinely find interesting, not something we had to convince them was interesting. So when I met Dr. An, it just all came together, and the rest is history. So what we're going to eventually do after a couple of years of running this camp is put all the activities we've developed into a book so that anyone who wants to run their own camp or have their kids do the activities at home can do so. So working with Dr. An, we developed all types of music math activities. Here we see Dr. Brian Giza leading the students in an activity. So who can tell our guests what this activity was about? Go ahead.
The tubes were like
The tubes were like
windpipes.
windpipes. Who can add to that? Go ahead.
When you would like rub some on your hand, they would make a different noise, and they ordered us from lowest pitch to highest pitch.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just an example of a hands-on activity. Here's another activity we did with one of our guests. Who remembers what this activity was about? Go ahead, you.
The dub key.
About what?
The dub key.
The dub key. So who can define that for us? What does that mean? Go ahead.
It was a dance we were doing.
Absolutely, a dance we were doing. And you'll notice that this is not just the Music and Math Camp, this is the World Music and Math Camp. One of our major themes is the universality of music as a language. It crosses genders, it crosses borders, it crosses species. I've heard birds singing, right? And so this is much, much deeper in our DNA than just being a human construct. So here we see some of the kids playing. What were you guys playing here?
Just dance.
Just dance. So, and what were you guys doing here? Who can tell us? Anybody remember? What were you doing?
They would. It was like a little lesson. They would show us a thing on the projector, and then it would be worth some money, and you would have to guess how much money.
Yeah. So it was a game where they would have to guess how much something cost. What was one of the objects that you remember guessing the price of? What do you remember?
Michael Jackson's glove.
Michael Jackson's glove. And how much did she tell you Michael Jackson's glove was worth? A lot of money, right?
300,000 something.
That's right.
$300,000.
$358,000. So we also have a lot of guest teachers. So Dr. Song An teaches a course with teachers who would each come in for half an hour and give a lesson. So here we see one of our instructors giving a lesson. And in case you don't notice, this lesson was about Jay-Z, as you can see in the corner there of the picture. and Justin Timberlake. So here's another one of our great instructors. What we also had, as you can see in this picture, is the students were participating in the camp, but we had our freshmen, our incoming College of Education freshmen, come visit the camp and see the kind of stuff we do. So everyone standing in that picture is a future incoming College of Education freshman. So we also had some really exciting activities involving social justice. So who here can tell me how we connected social justice with a math music camp? Go ahead.
To get the evidence that somebody did something, they have to do a bunch of math, a percentage, and all of that stuff.
Absolutely. So we talked about how jury selection and jury bias can be proven statistically. So what did we say was the connection between music and social justice? How did we connect music with social justice? Anyone remember? Anyone remember us talking about how certain songs are used to inspire people? Right? All right. So this was our great visit from Lynn Coyle. Chico's mom, and thank you so much for doing that. It was fantastic. So this camp was about integrating math with music, but we believe that the concept of integrating an entertainment context with educational content is scalable to other fields. And so, for instance, my colleague William Medina studies how people can learn science by cooking. And so it's the exact same concept, just that we take a topic that's normally inaccessible and we make it accessible through a context that's meaningful to the students. So here we have Greg demonstrating our 3D printer. So Greg and his colleague Jaron and his son Joseph, they were with us the first week, and then they had to go back to Navajo Tech. They are all part of the Navajo Tech undergraduate engineering program, and they came down here to help us run the 3D printers effectively. This last week it's also run smoothly, but only because we had Judah here. So thank goodness for that. So here we see the kids working with the 3D printers, and we'll give a brief tour later where you get to see those in action. But the idea of a 3D printer is simply the same as a 2D printer, except with a 2D printer, I'm putting one layer of ink onto a sheet of paper. With a 3D printer, I'm using plastic to create multiple layers. So instead of just one layer of ink, it's multiple layers of plastic that are developed on the XY plane, then the Z plane drops, and you get another layer. So a trumpet like this is probably about 200 to 300 layers. Each layer is exactly the thickness of a sheet of paper folded in half. So in addition to working with Greg and Jaron and the folks from Navajo Tech and Judah Lesser and the 3D printer team, we also got to go to the Keck Center. So the Keck Center is a world premier 3D printing laboratory right here at UTEP, just as good as the one at MIT. Right now Caltech's probably the best in the world, but we're getting there. Our printers are available for $1,300. And so the printers that we use are now being sold in Sky Mall. So if anyone here travels often, just turn to page 9 of Sky Mall and you'll see the 3D printer that we use is now commercially available. But there are, of course, much more advanced 3D printers like the Stratus that you see here, which costs about $20,000, as well as the printer you see here, which costs about $1.5 million and can make an object the size of one of these tables. So here we see the kids looking at a bunch of the prototypes. You'll notice that one of the primary things they're interested in at the Keck Center is biomaterials. And so you'll see right here they're printing a femur bone, and they then implant this into some type of animal like a dog or a cow. And once we work it out with animals, we're going to start doing it with people. We have already in some pilot tests, a woman had her jaw replaced, a veteran had part of his missing skull replaced, but biomaterials are just the starting place. I'll mention we just here at UTEP this year hired an Italian professor whose entire focus is developing materials for printing skin for burn victims. So it's very exciting stuff. Here we can see the metal printer that the Keck Center uses to create metallic prints. And so here we have the room, which is right behind you, which I'll give you a tour of later. And this is where the students did their printing. As you can see here, we got a whole row of 3D printers going. And we got Judah watching everyone, making sure they stay on task. So this is our campers. That was our slideshow. And so let's give them all a round. to the much more entertaining part of the show, where instead of me talking, you're going to get to see the campers in action. And so Diana is going to be leading us as we get people on and off the stage. And so where'd Diana go? There she is. Okay. Oh, you're not in orange anymore. That's why I couldn't see you. So me and Marco will help with the computer, and you just tell whoever's next to come up on stage.
Okay, so we are starting with our first video math class.
Once upon a time, a few mistakes ago, I was in my class. You taught me a rule. How to find the area, the area. I guess I didn't care. I knew you didn't like that. I learned it from my math. I took the class again. And now I care. And now I care. And now I care. So I went to class. To get the area of a triangle, and I also learned that how to multiply by radius square. It's a circle's area, now I know it, and I won't forget. That geometry is easy and fun. Know it, know it, know it. Know it, know it. Test is coming up. I need to be prepared. I'm getting kind of stressed. Guess I'm hurt again. I'm studying. I'm studying. I'm studying. This is Tuesday. I studied very much. I hope I don't forget what I learned in my class. I had to pass. I had to pass. I had to pass. My exam is long, and it seems to be hard, but I'm not afraid, 'cause I remember that base times height divided by 2 is the formula to get the area of a triangle. And I also learned that 1 multiplied by radius squared. The circle's area, now I know it, and I won't forget. That geometry is easy and fun. Know it, you want to pass. Just study hard. Mathematics is fun. Geometry and everything. Yeah. Base times height divided by 2 is the formula to get the area of a triangle. And I also learned that how to multiply by radius squared. It's a circle's area, now I know it, and I won't forget. That geometry is easy and fun. Know it, know it, know it. Know it, know it. Base times height divided by 2 is triangle, triangle, triangle. 1 multiplied by radius squared. Circle, circle, circle.
Before we turn the lights on, I'm just going to temporarily raise the screen because I want everyone to see the room behind us is where this video is filmed. So what we've got in here is a green screen. This is where we did a lot of 3D printing, but this is also where Marco, who's sitting behind the screen right here, filmed a lot of the green screening, which is how we did the special effects. So let's give Marco a hand.
Okay, the next group are singing and are performing a composition with a collaboration of Dr. Anne and Lucia.
All right.
This is an original composition that the students wrote collaboratively. They used a formula that Dr. Ann developed, and it's mathematical, numeric, and what I loved about it, I'm a music teacher at elementary school, and what I loved about it was that it made composition easily accessible for these kids. They didn't have to know notes, they didn't have to know the staff, they just had to know numbers. And following a pattern, these students created this song. Dr. M? Okay. Thank you. Ready? Ready, go.
Circle, square, rectangle, all the shapes that you can undo. Some are straight, some are curved, and they all are close fingers. Triangles, run right to. There's so much that you can do with these shapes every day in your work and in your play, in your play. The sword has 4 edges to our parallel. And what ought to be the forward is circle, square, rectangle, all the shapes that you can know. Some are straight, some are curved, and they all are close fingers. Triangles, run by 2. There's so much that you can do with these shapes every day in your work and in your play, in your play.
A triangle
Can be in a isosceles, but to congruent sides and to congruent angles too.
doors are
Rectangles and the sun is a circle. Curves are triangles, and our circles are triangles.
circle,
Square, rectangle, all the shapes that you can know. Some are straight, some are curved, and they all are close fingers. Triangle, run by 2. There's so much that you can do with these shapes every day in your work and in your play, in your play.
Well, our next video is called TikTok. The kids were helped by Pamela and Carlos to make the lyrics. I hope you enjoy it.
Wake up in the morning feeling like learning beat. I grab my glasses, I'm at the door. I'm gonna hit the books. Before I leave, grab my things and study for math. Cause when I leave for school, I ain't coming back. I'm taking pencils in my bag. I'm just full of notes. Drop talking in my face. I'm done. Going up to the test. Punching a little bit.
No.
Don't clock, but the test don't stop. And no, whoa, 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 stop, make it pop, math on my fingers up. Tonight I'm gonna find till we see the satellite. Tick tock on the clock, but the test don't stop. And no, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't stop, make it pop, math on my fingers up. Tonight I'm gonna fight till we see the sunlight. Tick tock on the clock, but the test don't stop. And no, whoa, 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 stop, make it pop, math on my fingers up. Tonight I'm gonna fight till we see the sunlight. Tick tock on the clock, but the test don't stop. And no, whoa, 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 whoa.
For our next presentation, we're going to show you what the kids made with the 3D printers.
Excellent. So Maggie's gonna set up over here, and what she's gonna do is hand each of the students who created created an original music an opportunity to show it on this screen over here. So if you'll just turn your chairs somewhere where you can see this screen, Maggie's gonna hand them each their instrument. They're then gonna form a line. Here, I'll do it. All right, so let's have Maggie organize them in kind of a... How about all the presenters come over here with me? So everybody form a line next to me. Make sure you got your instrument. You got a rubber band. All right, so our first presenter is going to come up. He's going to put his object right here in the box. And while he's shaking it, he's going to talk to you guys about what he designed and printed here.
Well, none of this that I printed was mine. These were borrowed objects. I asked the people that designed this if I could use it, and they said yes. Well, first I got this piece of paper right here, and then I duct taped it and made sure it's really tight. But then Dr. T told me I need to make it a little louder. So then I thought of the idea if I could make it a rattle. So I put in a bunch of stuff. These are the little things that are in the tambourine. Dr. T took them out. I got some marbles, and I put them in here. Well, and then I needed to find out what to put under here so the stuff wouldn't come out. And then Alan, right there, he said I could borrow this, so I put it under, and yeah, and it's kind of what drums.
So show them how it drums and it's a rattle. So it's a dual drum rattle. All right, so he's gonna head up stage. And then while you're setting up, he's gonna go to the stage, and then you're gonna talk to us. And then once everyone's done presenting their instruments, we're actually gonna play you a song on our printed instruments here. So go ahead.
Alright, this is a percussion and string instrument that Kiko made.
So put
Kiko
it.
and me made both over there. So then this is this guy, the side which is percussion. You can either hit it like this or string with it. And then this side, we added a guitar string and cut one and put it there. And then you
So
can plug
watch the
it.
screen so you can see it. So a combination drum guitar. All right. Lift it up. Lift it up.
I made two things, a whistle and a rattle. The whistle actually works. I made it so that there's a hole, and the air flows through and comes out this end. This is a rattle, which I made. It has metal pieces of the tambourine and lots of tiny beads.
All right. And, along with Judah, Maggie was instrumental in making sure that even after our team from Navajo Tech left, that the 3D printer lab kept running smoothly.
Instrumental.
She was instrumental in making it run smoothly.
I also made a whistle, but this one is kind of smaller, and it also works. What I did was, well, I kind of forgot what I did.
Typical engineer.
But
Doesn't know how to do it. I don't know why.
I did make a hole right here and a hole right here, so that way I would blow it and the air would just come out.
I made a duck rattle whistle. That is a turtle, but I put a whistle on his head and it looked like a duck.
So just to understand, a turtle whose head is a whistle is a duck.
No. Well, it started like a turtle, but then I put a whistle on his head, then it looked like a duck.
So turn it so they can see how it looks like a duck. Turn it sideways. There you go. And you see the little legs on the bottom. And it's also a rattle.
Awesome.
It's a rattle and a whistle that works.
Excellent.
This is a dog. It also looks like
So move it so they can see it. So turn it.
it also has bunny ears. It used to have a rubber band around it on its ear right here, but I lost it, so now it's just a sock them.
All right. So while our band is setting up front, we're going to have Kiko accompany them on piano. And I'll just mention a few other designs. Before we spent the second week designing musical instruments, we had the students practice just designing anything. So I just want to show you an example of the kind of thing that came from that. This is a design which answers the age-old question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Apparently it was both. So this is one of our designs. And we've also got some instruments that we created before the class. This is a whistle which shows the 3D printing process. And so on top we have a fully functional whistle. And then on the bottom we've got two examples of 3D printing partially done. So one that's about a quarter done, one that's half done, and then one that's fully done. So this is a whistle that demonstrates the 3D printing process. I've got 3 of these. Do we have any parents who would be willing to join our musicians on stage? Any parents? Any adults before I give them to the kids? All right, do we have 3? Oh, there we go. So please pass this gentleman a whistle. And then we got 2 more for kids who want to join us on stage. There you go. I'll also mention we're still working on horns. They're not coming out that well. And I'll be joining our students on this flute that I printed. So we're just going to give you a few minutes, and we're going to try to make it sound as nice as we can, but it's more of a concept than it is a polished piece. So take us away, Kiko. Just play along.
themselves, and it's called Mac.
teacher. I want to learn how to get straight A's. They're wonderful scholars, oh, they're the best grade ever. But they're hard to get because you have to study hard. Oh, whoa, I know that you can teach me how to learn math. Learn math, oh, oh, teacher, would you help me get my grades up? My grades up, math. That is what I learned. Teacher, won't you show me more? How you can make my wish come true. If you let me learn from you. If you let me learn from you. Multiplication. I want to know all multiplication facts. That's everything I see in my class. I want to say that to you if it wasn't true. Oh, whoa, I know that you can teach me how to learn math. Learn math. Oh, oh, teacher, would you help me get my grades up? Grades up. Math. That is what I learned. Teacher, won't you show me more? And you can make my wish come true. If you let me learn from you. If you let me learn from you. Oh, you are my teacher. You are my teacher. You are my teacher. Yeah, you are my teacher. You are my teacher. You are my teacher. Yeah, you are math. That is what I learned. Teacher, won't you show me more? And you can make my wish come true. If you let me learn from you. If you let me learn from you. Oh, oh.
The next song is called Crazy for Math. Yes, it is.
All right, so our next presenter Let's give them some silence.
Okay, so you're all in detention. Why? Because you all failed math.
What do you think?
Double detention.
She's on the phone.
No, tell her.
After.
Double detention for you two. For you two. No.
Aww.
Triple now.
What did I do? Can we just get on with it, please?
Fine.
I played it safe. I kept my pencil on the desk. I never really took a chance in math. Didn't pay attention today. Oh, look, and then I met you. Opened my eyes to something new. You know you should be seen like no one else. And I've been reading like a fool. Don't you know you changed my life? Cause now I'm learning and my brain feels right. Yeah, you got my brain cells moving and they're going insane. You got me adding up, subtracting, yeah. Oh, and that's why I'm crazy, it's true. Crazy for now, you got me looking at figures and I can't stop now. You know you short circuit my brain. Oh, I can't lie. That's crazy, it's true. I'm crazy too. Midnight dipping in the books, or sneaking out to study more. You know you make me feel super smart. That's what I love about books. Don't you know you changed my life? Math, cause now I'm learning and my brain feels right. Yeah, you got my brain cells moving and it's going insane. You got me adding and subtracting, yeah. Oh, and that's why I'm crazy, it's true. Crazy for math, you got me looking at figures and I can't stop now. You know you short circuit my brain. Oh, I can't lie. That's crazy, it's true. I'm crazy too. I didn't lose my mind when I fell for math. That's good. And I'm gonna love you, man, like you never knew. Whoa, don't you know you changed my life? Yeah, 'cause now I'm living and I feel so right. Yeah. Got my brain cells moving and it's going insane. You got me adding and subtracting, yeah. Whoa, and that's why I'm crazy, it's true. Crazy for nothing. You got me looking at figures and I can't stop now. You know you short circuit my brain. Oh, I can't lie. That's crazy, it's true. I'm crazy too. Crazy, it's true. Crazy for you.
So move.
Next video is called Fix You.
Try your best, but you don't succeed. And get what you want, but not what you need. sink in reverse. Keep my meters count so much that drugs houses. Work so much that it goes to waste. Could it be negatives? Still I've got to hang in your brain. I will try to come back. Zero the negatives. Move the houses, let it go. But if you never know, then you never know. Just one number. Come back.
This will be our final performance, and then we'll have a few more things, and that'll be it for today. So our next group is
Us. Oh no. Ow.
Mathematics style. Math style. I never thought that mathematics would be easy. I never paid attention, so I always failed that class. When my grades were getting bad, I knew I had to work much harder, 'cause I want to be the smartest. And I want an A. I want to learn multiplication. Yeah, I want an A. I need to know that conversation, 'cause I want an A. I'm tired of failing all my classes, now I want an A. Yeah, I want an A. Now or never, I have to study to get it done. Come on, come on. Now I know. Oh yeah, I know. Crazy numbers on the page, now I know. Mathematics style. Math style. Mathematics style. Math style. No longer. Math style. Mathematics can be as easy as it pops up. You only have to try hard and remember that there is a relationship between a sum and nothing come together. It will have me to suck. 'Cause I want an A. I want to learn multiplication. Yeah, I want an A. I need to know factorization, 'cause I want an A. I'm tired of failing all my classes, 'cause I want an A. Yeah, I want an A. Now or never, I have to study to get it done. Done, yeah, done. Mathematics can make me happy. Now I know. Oh yeah, I know. Crazy numbers on the page. Mathematics style. Math style. Mathematics style. Math style. Numbers. Mathematics style. Numbers. Mathematics style. Numbers. Mathematics style. Local numbers. Mathematics style.
All right, so just a few more things today. First off, let's give a hand to all of our campers. For those of you who would either like to watch this event again over and over because it's so great, or because you know someone who wasn't able to attend, we'll be creating a video of this hour. I'll be sending out a link sometime next week to that website, and you can all watch that on YouTube. The next thing we have to do is give out our certificates of completion to all of our stars. So will Cypress please come up? Not here today. Isaac Clark. Congratulations. Noelia. Congratulations. Gael. Martinez. Johnny. Sofia Delgado. Fernanda Delgado. Alan Loya Silva. Francisco Kiko Dominguez. Alessandro Delgado. Luciano Delgado. I'm starting to think that you guys are related.
Yes.
Christina. Catherine. Itza. Carolina. Congratulations. Jose. Congratulations. Paula. Ellen Lindbergh. Lineberger?
Yeah.
Oh, I think we forgot the at the end. Maggie! Did we forget the Oh, sorry. Let me do some good ones. Johnny. Oh, this is the same thing. Judah Lesser! So we're now facilitators for the camp. So Judah Lesser was absolutely instrumental in running the 3D room. So everyone who did some 3D printing, let's give him a hand. Lucia Bernardo. Gladys Ferrari. Pamela Ortiz. Carlos Aceves. Marco Lopez. Carlos Baez. Thank you so much. And at this time, I would like to call to the front my co-creators of the camp, Dr. Andrea Shaheen. Dr. Larry Lesser. And the guy who's just as much to blame as me for everything that went wrong, Dr. Saul Gann. So we'll come up in the middle and do a hands down. So thank you so much. So we now have an open house. You're free to go if you need to go, but you're also free to stay till 1:30. And we'll just have an open house. You can talk to us, talk to the helpers, check out the 3D printers, whatever you like. But at 1:30, I'm going home.